The original lawsuit sought $100 million, but the cyclist was able to reach a much lower settlement with the federal government. USA Today Sports. One of the biggest winners in the federal case against Lance Armstrong is a confessed cheater who tested positive for a banned substance and later defrauded the supporters who believed his lies about it. He is Armstrong's bitter enemy and former cycling teammate. And now Floyd Landis is going to get much richer. The former cyclist will get $1.1 million of the $5 million settlement that Armstrong will pay the federal government, according to terms signed Thursday to resolve the government's civil fraud lawsuit against Armstrong. Armstrong also will pay Landis another $1.65 million to help pay his legal bills in the case, which started in 2010, when Landis filed a civil complaint against Armstrong as a whistleblower for the federal government. In a bit of a twist, Landis, 42, now can use the proceeds to pay back the people he defrauded in 2007 and 2008 as part of a separate criminal case from 2012. Landis owed $478,000 in restitution to supporters who gave money to help him deny doping allegations after he tested positive in 2006. Court records showed he paid at least $10,000 as of 2015. I am not sure exactly what remains due, but yes, Floyd is looking forward to paying off the balance and getting on with his life, Landis attorney, Paul Scott, told USA Today Sports on Thursday. He is in a good place and moving forward. I hope Lance does the same. The jury is still definitely out on the guy, but I hope he takes this as a chance to redeem himself and do some good. In other words, one confessed doper, Armstrong, is helping pay another confessed doper, Landis, who can use the money to pay back his own debt to society for his own lies about performance-enhancing drugs. Floyd Landis left, and Lance Armstrong ride together in 2004. Photo, Bernard Papon, AP. There are two separate cases involved. In 2012, Landis entered a deferred prosecution agreement to resolve a federal criminal wire fraud case against him. The feds went after him because he raised $478,354 from 1,765 donors in 2007 and 2008 after testing positive for synthetic testosterone during his victory in the 2006 Tour de France. Landis denied doping, spent more than $2 million to fight the charge, and even wrote a book called Positively False: The Real Story of How I Won the Tour de France. He rallied supporters and in person took their money and called it the Floyd Fairness Fund. The fund was established in 2007 to support Floyd Landis against unsubstantiated doping allegations, among other things, federal prosecutors noted. But the federal government considered it fraud after he confessed to doping in 2010. That same year, Landis instigated another case, this time a civil complaint that aimed to blow the whistle on Armstrong, Landis' nemesis and former teammate on the U.S. Postal Service cycling team. Armstrong, 46, had denied doping for more than a decade before admitting it during a televised interview with talk show host Oprah Winfrey in 2013. Not long after Armstrong's confession, the federal government joined Landis' case in 2013 on behalf of the Postal Service, which paid $32.3 million to sponsor the cycling team from 2000 to 2004. The government said the Postal Service would not have paid if it had known the cycling team was using banned drugs and blood transfusions to cheat in races. It had sought nearly $100 million in damages, with Landis in line to get up to 25% of the cut as the whistleblower who brought Armstrong's alleged fraud to the government's attention. In the end, Landis gets a 22% cut of the $5 million settlement, $1.1 million, plus $1.65 million to pay his legal bills in the case. The government acknowledged his contribution in a statement. The allegations against Armstrong were originally brought in a whistleblower complaint filed in June 2010 by Floyd Landis, a former teammate of Armstrong, who admitted that he, too, had participated in ped use as a member of the USPS-sponsored team, the statement from the U.S. Justice Department said. Landis filed his complaint under the key TAM provisions of the False Claims Act, which allow private parties to bring suit on behalf of the government and to share in any recovery. The act permits the government to intervene in the whistleblower suit, as the government did here, in part. Landis will receive $1,100,000 as his share of the settlement. Because of their doping offenses, both Landis and Armstrong were stripped of their victories in the Tour de France, Landis in 2006 and Armstrong's 7 wins from 1999 to 2005. Their feud goes back to their racing days and how Landis was treated by Armstrong, especially when Landis was rejected by Armstrong's cycling team manager in 2009 in his quest to join Armstrong's Radio S team. Months later, Landis confessed to doping and accused Armstrong of the same. It is his word versus ours, Armstrong said in May 2010 after Landis confessed. We like our word. We like where we stand, and we like our credibility. I don't think there's a lot of credibility on the other side. Follow Schrotenbauer on Twitter at Schrotenbauer.